Hey everybody, this is Adam here at David French Music. We're doing a series of instrument maintenance videos to help keep your instrument in tip-top shape, day to day, week to week, and in between times you come see us here at the repair shop for professional repair services and professional cleaning. In this video we'll be talking about student trombones and how to maintain them over time. So the first thing I want to talk about is not even related to the instrument, it's just the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is super important because anything that's closer to where you play, to where your mouth for wind instruments, is going to affect everything that happens beyond it. So if our mouthpiece is not in its best shape, everything else will suffer because of it. So the first big thing I like to think about and like to talk about is how clean it is on the inside. So to check that, just take your mouthpiece, take a look through it. You can look through either end, and hopefully you see the light of day on the other side. If you can't, or if you see a lot of buildup on the inside there, it's a great time to go ahead and buy yourself a mouthpiece brush. You can look for a trombone mouthpiece brush, but a trumpet one works. Any one that is a brass mouthpiece brush should suffice. What we do here is most mouthpieces for student level instruments are silver plated, which means they can withstand cold, warm, and hot water. So you can pick your favorite, and with some dish soap or hand soap, you can go ahead and run that mouthpiece under the water and run the brush from the actual end of the shank up through the top. After a few times through, go ahead and check it again. If everything is clear, go ahead and rinse it off and you're good to go. Other than that, the other big thing to be checking out is the actual shank of the mouthpiece. We know that the shank by nature should be round, so it interacts properly with the actual receiver. If it's not, I would highly recommend having your private instructor or your band director go ahead and invest in a truing tool. This is a mouthpiece truing tool. What it is a piece of steel that is tapered in a certain increment so that it fits the shank of the mouthpiece. So if your mouthpiece isn't round, go ahead and place that down there. You're also going to want to buy yourself a rawhide mallet so we can be re-rounding that to the right shape. You can just lightly work your way around the shank of the mouthpiece. When that is all set and you've gone around a few times, we are good to go. And you can check again to make sure that it's a circle. Moving into the actual instrument, there's a few different things we can do to take care of the trombone internally speaking. The first thing I like to do for student trombones is the main tuning slide. This needs to go to a certain spot and then usually just stay right where it is. So what I like to do to make sure that's in tip-top shape is get Hetman number 7, which is slide gel. It's a nice thick grease that I can coat to the slide at least once a week, and it will help that tuning slide go to its position it needs and stay there. On the other half of the trombone, luckily we don't have all that many moving parts, so it's going to be fairly easy to maintain. The hand slide, there's a couple different things we can use to keep this in great shape. Because we have 4 different parts of the slide that all need to line up and interact perfectly parallel to each other, there's a lot of things that can go wrong if it gets bumped or if it's not in great shape. For our purposes, there's a few different greases that we can use and oils to make your slide work in tip-top shape. What I like to do here is, every couple days, maybe every practice session, depending on how meticulous you like to be, I either use Yamaha Trombone Slide Lubricant or Slido-Mix Rapid Comfort, and you can apply a little bit of that to the inner part of the slide, and then I'm going to work that into the actual hand slide going in and out as I get that whole slide lubricated. If the oil feels a little bit too thick, you can always cut it with some water in a spray bottle to help move things faster. If you get to the point where you're cleaning it and everything looks a little dark and murky on the inside of the slide, your slide inners, a paper towel or a cloth is really easy to run on the inside of those inners and get the extra residue off before you go ahead and reapply and make sure that slide is in the best shape it can be. Other than that, a couple other main things to look out for the trombone are the water key cork. This works similarly for every brass instrument that has a water key on it. You want to make sure that cork is not totally compressed more than halfway down. You want to make sure there's no weird, funky science experiments growing down there. If both of those things are true, it's compressed and looks terrible, you know it's probably time to get it into a shop, get it cleaned, and get that cork replaced. Other than that, with the trombone, if you want to keep the outside of it nice and shiny, brass instruments are really resilient because it's a raw brass that's been polished and then sprayed with a clear lacquer, which makes it look nice for a really long time. It also means that it's completely resilient to alcohol or any type of disinfectant spray. So you can be spraying that down as often as you see fit, and you can wipe your instrument down with a cloth or a towel or anything equivalent. It'll keep it nice and shiny, it'll keep your trombone working and looking as good as it can before you come in to see us here at the shop.